Welcome to our second guest podcast. Today we have Michael, aka Van Mick, on our board, and we ask him today some question that you guys know better about Michael and what he is doing. And we start, Michael. What is your main story quest in life?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me, and nice that the community wants to learn more about me. I think that's a very good way. Yeah, the main story quest in life. I think it's actually interesting. We are the only podcast which are going deep with the first question. But when I think about my main story quest, I think in life at the moment is to learn in general, because you come here to life to make experiences and to learn different kind of things, and I think that is the purpose of our time here on Earth, on this planet, in this life with this body. Yeah, I think that is all we are here for, to learn, to make good experiences, and to get wiser and make our soul wiser.
All right, then let's see what we can learn today from you. And we start with our first feature, MMO of life, and we are in the starting area. And the first question, of course, because we are a gaming podcast, is Michael, how did you start with gaming and what was your first game?
Yeah, I started with gaming very, very early. I think it was probably with 5 or 6 or something like that. And my first digital game was probably something like Snake, because that was one of the first video games we played. Snake, or then the next one was Tetris or something like that. So we grew up with all this technology. Everything was new and fresh there. So we got the hot stuff. And yeah, I mean, that was one of the first. It was black and white, not colorful. People from today they don't know how it was like this, but it was black and white. It was a very tiny thing. It was a very tiny console, and you played this simple games, but it was something very special, and also very special to me. So yeah, that was one of the first games. Yeah.
Did you have also like maybe not Tetris and also not Snake, but did you have like gaming buddies or group in your early days? And what kind of games did you play with your friends?
When I think back to the very early days, so when I was very young, the first games I played with friends was with my siblings, because I have 2 younger siblings as well, and we're only 2 years apart, so two. And we played a lot together. So, for example, when we had the Pokemon things, we had all the kinds of things with the Nintendos. So from the Game Boy Color to over the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy DS or something like that. So you could play that together with the newest technology. I think the first one was infrared, and then Bluetooth started and stuff like that. So you could do the pairing thing and swap the Pokemons with this kind of thing which you plugged into your Game Boy Advance and stuff like that. So that was probably my first experience with playing with someone digitally. Yeah, but it evolved for sure. It
And
evolved. Yeah, I had
yeah, sure.
a lot of other experiences. Yeah, but that was the first. If you ask for the first specific one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, but you said also that your parents had a kind of like a cinema of games or something like that.
Yeah, that was probably why I got a big gamer, because my parents had a video store. They Yeah, back in the days it was like that. You went to a video store, you got a movie, you rented it and watched it at home, and then you brought it back to the video store. So that was what it was like many years ago. And my parents had a couple of them, and when I was old enough, so when I was going to kindergarten, I mostly wanted to go to the video store instead of the kindergarten, and then I was there behind the desk and serving customers and gave them the video games and blah blah blah, or the movies. And they not only had movies, they also had video games. So PlayStation 1 was the console there. So they had the PlayStation 1. Then they had I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was a wall with a lot of PlayStation 1 video games. And it was probably 50, 60 games of PlayStation 1. And yeah, I could play what I wanted if it was under 18. So they not allowed me in kindergarten to play over 18 games or over 16. But yeah, I could play what I want. And so I rented it then and then asked my parents, and then I could play it on the console. So the game I played most was probably Spyro, if you can remember that, the dragon.
Awesome game.
Yeah, that was probably the game I played most. But yeah, before the PlayStation 1, we also had the Nintendo console. I don't know what the name of Nintendo 64. We had that and a lot of accessories for PlayStation 1 as well, a gun or something like that. So all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and that turned me probably into a big gamer because I was really into it.
Was this video store actually like at home? So in your city where you lived?
No, I lived in the city next to it. It was in the next bigger city, and there was the video store
Okay.
I knew, and I was old enough. But they had video stores in other cities before, so that was I think the third one or something like that. So yeah, and I went there with my father then in the afternoon all the time because he was in the morning he was working his normal job, and in the afternoon in the evening he went to the video store then with me. And then we were there for, I think, till 9 or something like that. And then went home.
Interesting. Because like I actually didn't know that like a few years ago because we went also every time to Balingen
Mm.
and bought our stuff there because they had also a video store where you could rent movies and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but
So
this one was
really,
later, I think. The video store of us was way earlier.
yeah, okay.
I think so, yeah.
Well, nice. So you would say like in normal like your parents supported your road to a gamer, right?
Yeah, definitely. They never had problems with it. And it was not like they encouraged me. It was not like, come, here the video games played. No, it was not like that. But I was interested in it and I asked, can I play this, please, please? And then they said, yeah, sure, you can play it. Okay, whatever. You serve the customers here, and that is your paycheck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So is there maybe also like a special game to you where you would say that shaped your future of maybe life and also problem solving? Like you, for example, I don't know, World of Warcraft had a big impact on your future because you picked something from there into your real life.
Um, I don't think it was like that when I was a child, but yeah, you cannot say because you have to have a lot of skills to play these video games, and especially I was very young, so I was probably 5, 6 or something like that. So it was the first time I can remember something. And there I played these games, and you need when you look at the games, a lot of games are from the age of 6, 7 or something like that. I played it before. I needed the skills before, so it probably did something with my motoric skills um, for video games. But yeah, for sure. When I got older, I got into a lot of games, and you when you get into these kind of games, you get the connection with the technical stuff with the PC, and you get to know the PC and all these technical things. So that probably shaped a little bit my path in case of school and stuff like that, and that shaped all the other kind of path as well. So yeah, but World of Warcraft, for example, was a big thing as well, and it brought me a lot of social skills as well.
All right. So I have one last question for the starting area before we are going to leveling. Michael, if your life was an RPG, what would be your class and why?
I think my class would be probably a paladin because I like justice a lot, and when I see something injustice, I hate it and I want to change it. So I get angry when I see something injustice. For example, what governments do with their people. And that's what I hate. And yeah, I can see. That's why I played also Paladin, because I could identify myself with it. But World of Warcraft did it a little bit too shiny. But when you think back about the Glory Knights, this was something I could identify with me, to justify the people and bring justice into the world. That's something I like. Yeah.
Awesome. So we are going now to the next phase. We are going to the MMO of life, leveling. And talking about leveling, what is currently on your quest log, personal or professional goals you're actively pursuing?
At the moment, on my quest log is in life to create something in my life which I can be on for the rest of my life, and to create something which is passion in my life and I can work on for the rest of my life. That is the quest at the moment, because I have to know we did a lot of entrepreneurial stuff before, a lot of business stuff, wanted to catch money and stuff like that. So did a lot of stuff like this. And when you do this, and when you have the money a little bit and stuff like that, you know that this kind of stuff is not the fulfilling thing. And you're looking for something which you can do actually with passion for the rest of your life. And I'm looking for something for which I don't need motivation or something like that. I want to do this. It's like gaming, you know. When you have a very good game, when I played World of Warcraft in the early days, I couldn't think of something else. I was playing World of Warcraft. I was going to bed, thinking World of Warcraft in the bed. What do I do tomorrow? Waking up. Oh, today I do this. You think all the time about this kind of thing, and that is the passion. You need to be behind something really, really crazy, and then it will be successful automatically. And yeah, it is the thing is to create something like this. And I think we are on a very, very good path with this podcast and this kind of thing, because I like to talk about things. I like to share opinions, and I want to influence people with opinions and bring a new mindset to people with this kind of stuff. And I love gaming, so it's a very good combination. And I think, yeah, it's flawless. And when you get something that is flawless, I think that is a very good direction in which you're going. And yeah, we will see what the future brings, but that is the quest at the moment.
Awesome. Like you talked, like we chased money, and now we are going into the direction of like more trying to find our passion and do something with passion. What would you say was the main reason or the main learning where you said, okay, chasing money is not the right call?
The thing is, in the beginning we thought, yeah, we want to get out of the hamster wheel, right? We want to be our own boss. We don't want to be, employee, and someone tells you what to do, because it was so, I don't know, it was feeling like in a jail. You have to be at the time in the morning somewhere only because someone says it, and it was very feeling like a jail. So the first thing was then to make our own company and to build something when we're getting out of there. But when you're creating something only for the purpose of breaking out, it's fine. You have a lot more freedom. But when you don't like it, and when you do something which is not your passion, or you're doing it only for a purpose, then you're creating your own hamster wheel again, because you cannot go out. Otherwise, you're in the same situation as before. So, and you're waking up every day and thinking about something you didn't want to do. So that is maybe a step in the whole process, but it's the same issue as before. Maybe you have more money, maybe you have more freedom, but it's the same issue. You're same happy probably when you compare it. So this is the next step in optimizing the happiness in the whole process, and the bring in more passion. And I think that's the thing which can solve this whole thing.
Yeah. What was the biggest real life challenge for you personally?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think probably the whole business thing. It didn't feel like a really big challenge. But when you, as a normal, when you are into process, it doesn't feel like a really big challenge because you do one step after the next. But when you're looking at it as a normal person, then it's probably a big challenge and a big step. So creating the whole companies and breaking out of the corporate system and stuff like that. I think that was the biggest challenge in case of stress and stuff like that. When you are, yeah, when you're treating you mentally. Mental was only the second thing, right? It was the main priority was building this thing, and yourself, you set yourself at the place number two, so you're not prioritizing yourself. And after a while, you cannot do this forever. You After a while you have to focus on yourself because you experience the mental degrading or the health degrading in yourself then. So yeah, there comes a point where life says to you, you have to change something, and you feel it at first, and then the feeling is getting bigger, and if you don't do anything about it, then the body tells you to do something, and that was probably the biggest challenge, and is probably still the biggest challenge to find the right thing and to build the right environment to have the perfect thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. And also, people have also always to imagine like you're trying to make goals and you say, if I achieve that goal, I will be happy. And then you're achieving the goals and then you're still not happy and making again new goals.
Mm.
But you said before you will be happy if you have the goals. So we always trying to find something new. So maybe you don't know it, but Michael is a digital nomad. So Michael is always traveling around the world as a solo traveler. So Michael, what would you say, or would you say maybe that starting traveling, especially solo traveling, did evolve you as a person the most?
No question, that was the biggest thing in case of personality and evolvement as a character in my life. And I would recommend it to every person on earth to do it, because when I look at people these days, they cannot spend 1 hour with themselves, and they're going crazy. They have to distract themselves from themselves, and I think that is a illness. I think that is a sickness, because when you do it, you learn about yourself and you evolve like crazy, because you have to talk to yourself. You're alone with your mind, and then you can experience what do you want really, or what are the issues in yourself. You're confronting yourself with yourself. And I thought about it all the time when I was, because 1 year before or something like that, or 1.5, I was trying to build the iron discipline, a really crazy discipline, because without discipline you only have motivation, and motivation is like a wave. And to build the discipline, you have to beat yourself, and you yourself, you are the biggest enemy of yourself. There's no enemy outside which is bigger as yourself, because in your brain there are two voices: the voice which wants comfort and the voice who want to achieve something. And usually, in 99% of the people in the world, the voice which wants comfort is dominating like crazy. So you can imagine it like that. You want to go to the gym, and the voice in your head says in the morning, come, the bed is very comfortable, sleep. Or you have to do something on the PC or for work or something like that, and then it says, look at the couch, get chips and watch something or something like that. That is the comfort voice. And the process to control this comfort voice and make the discipline voice and the achievement voice bigger and dominating, that is probably the hardest process I've ever done, and probably the hardest process for every person out there to achieve. And the best way for me to challenge this inner mind and to fight against myself is only running, because the baseline of running is, you know, your body is capable of a ton. Everything that the whole fight of running is in your mind, because the body can do a lot. When you think your body is done, your body is only at 30%. You can run double, triple the amount. But the fight is here, because the weak voice says, stop it, come. You were running 5 kilometers. Stop it. It's okay. It's okay. You did a lot. And the achievement voice says, fuck it. You can do it. If you do it now, you get better. You get better. It gets easier in the future, and you achieve something. So if you want to challenge yourself, do that. And I think that is, I don't know what was the base question, but but that was probably the biggest challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, the base question was like if traveling did evolve you as a person the most.
Definitely, yeah. Because you're with yourself, and you have to learn about yourself, and that is what everyone is running away from. That is why the Gen Z and everyone is so afraid and have a lot of anxiety and cannot meet people and stuff like that. It all starts in yourself, because they're distracted all the time. Without a phone, when you're at home, for example, you're with yourself. You cannot distract yourself. But I would say 90% of the people in the world, when you tell them, be alone in a room with yourself for 1 hour, don't do anything, they get freaked out and they have to be hospitalized 20 minutes afterwards. And that is shocking, actually. But it's so important to do that.
Yeah, I think one thing what people can't imagine is like going alone to a restaurant, for example.
Yeah, true. But to be honest, it was the same for me when I was still in Germany, in my old home country. When I was not traveling alone, then I thought, oh Jesus, going alone into a restaurant, that's weird as fuck. Or going alone into a cinema and watch a movie. I had one person which I know, an older person which told me all the time she's going to a cinema alone and stuff like that, and I thought, that's weird, bro. That's how can you do it? It's so weird going into the cinema alone, and all the people think, what's she doing? But now I'm into a situation. It's like nothing. I go into it's so normal. It's so chill. It's like you're spending the dinner with yourself, and I don't know. It's something very cool, very great, and it's nothing weird about it. It's so easy, and still thinking in this situation that some people or most of the people think they could never do it because it's so weird to them or so foreign to them. It's all about comfort zone. When you're outside the comfort zone, and outside the comfort zone is getting your new comfort zone, then that's the process. That's what's the difference. It's the evolvement.
Yeah, it's funny. I have always this discussion with my wife. I think a few days ago I want to go to the cinema, and I said like, and she said, yeah, with who you will go, and I think I will go alone. No, you can't go alone. I don't care. I want to watch the movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't need your bodyguard all the time. It's It's only the bodyguard. Other people are only the bodyguard in these kind of situations for your ego and for your anxiety. That's it. It's fear.
Yeah, guys, you have to travel. So, talking about travel, Michael, did your perspective on life change because you traveled around the world?
Definitely. It's one thing to see things, topics, countries, people on the internet, and it's the other thing to experience it. Because whatever people tell you over the internet, it's never the same as experiencing it yourself. And I don't know, when you think about Asia, I'm a lot in Asia in the past 2.5 years now. When you think about it, in case of a Western country, you think a lot of very poor country, the people are miserable, and because they don't have money, and I don't know, a lot of catastrophes and stuff like that. And do you have the big China, which is dominating there, and a lot of communism and stuff like that. So a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions, I would say. But when you experience it yourself, it's completely different. And everyone paints his own picture afterwards. So, for example, for myself, I visited countries here which I never thought I would like, and now I love them. Thinking about Thailand, thinking about Japan, for example, I never thought it's so interesting, and now I go back and think, fuck, I'm more connected to these countries now than in my old home country, Germany. So, yeah, you don't know what is out there, and you only find these connections and this love to a couple things when you experience it.
I think the funniest thing which you told me was like before Michael was really 0% into Asian girls, and now he is in love with the Asian culture and the Asian girls, and can't imagine to have again like a European or a Western wife, for example. Yeah.
That's when you're in Europe, or it doesn't matter where you are, but when you're in this kind of area or life, you are in a box. You don't know what's out there, and the West declined in my eyes. It declined a lot with all the woke culture and stuff like that. Uh, shifted a lot to the left. I like when it's balanced. It shifted a lot to the left, and it made a lot of things miserable, unconscious. Even the people in these kind of countries, they don't know it because they're influenced unconscious. But you experience it like crazy when you change the continent. When you go into countries where it's different, countries which are probably years behind in development, but the culture is very different then. And you said it, for example, in case of girls. When I was in Europe, and when I compare it now to Asia, it's like girls in Europe are men, and girls in Asia are way more feminine. It's like going back in the past 30 years, you know? It's crazy. It's another world, and you don't know it if you don't experience it. Yeah, it's only my thing, but maybe other people think different about it. But yeah, that's only one of 1,000 things.
Michael, who would be in your dream team or guild of life, both from real life and fiction, and why?
How many people should I pick, or what should I pick? Can you elaborate?
Your dream team. Your dream team or your dream guild.
For what kind of purpose?
Of life, like what would you surround yourself? What kind of people? What kind of fiction people? Like, do you want to have a Hulk around you always?
Let's imagine I have to create it like a government to have a lot of different positions in there. I would probably start with a very good innovator in case of Elon Musk or something like that, which teaches me some things and stuff like that. I would surround myself with very good health ministers like a RFK or a Brian Johnson, which are prioritizing my health. I would go with a person which is very direct with people, with other countries, with you probably, because you take out the bazooka and talk very directly with it. Yeah, a lot of open-minded people. I will go through that process again in a couple of days, and I encourage a lot of people out there to do the same in case of a vision board. It's actually the same Stefan's question is going through, to create the imagine the people around you and the people you admire and the people you want to surround yourself with, because you're doing it. Imagine in your imagination, and it's the brain cannot tell if you're watching a video or you speak to a person. So if you're consuming a lot of content of one person, it's like you're surrounded with them, and you're learning a lot of these people. So yeah, it's something you have to do. But I'm going through this post process in a couple of days. Yeah. But only to name a few. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could respec one decision or moment in your life, what would it be, and how would it change it?
I think to be honest, I wouldn't respec. The thing I have to think about it is a very good sign. I think I don't have a very, very big moment in my life which I would change. I live my life like I always, in each situation, I ask myself, would I regret that on my deathbed if I don't do it now? Or because I don't want to leave out on something, or I don't want to regret something I didn't do. When I do something and I regret it afterwards, that's okay. But I don't want to regret something I did not do. So, no, thinking back, there was maybe tiny things, but nothing, not a big decision which I regret. I'm very happy with the path I took. I'm very happy with the position I'm in at the moment, and I think the path was not easy. Will not be easy in the future, but I like it like this, and I think it's good.
All right, Michael. So we went from leveling now to endgame, and we are trying to see what is Michael's endgame. And the first question Michael already told us in the beginning what his main story quest is, and it is more likely like to learn. And Michael, can you tell us a little bit more about what are you trying to learn at the moment?
I never stop learning about myself. I think that is something humans never stop learning about if they're interested in it, because we don't know actually, we don't know anything about ourselves and about the human body or something like that, or about humanity in general. Also, what I'm very interested in the last couple of years is spirituality, to think deeper about everything, and questioning some things which are the usual stuff in the world. And I think when you start that process, you automatically go into the spirituality as well. Yeah, and also when you think about the whole working process and stuff like that, figuring out how to make the whole passion something which I can enjoy in the future, and something that works in the future. So I think these are the kind of things I'm working on at the moment, and still traveling and seeing what kind of opportunities are coming. Being open-minded for everything what comes. I think it's defined already, and I'm just waiting for opportunities, and they will come.
You already said like you're making the next 2 weeks your vision board for the next year. Talking about that, where do you see yourself like in the next 5, 10 years? Like both in life and maybe also would be interesting in the gaming world.
Let's start with the gaming world. Um, what would be interesting in the next 5, 10 years, to create a community and a base where we, or where we could create something for our own, where we could create stories for this community. In case of, we will see, maybe games or something like that, but we will see. Um, I think this is my goal in gaming. I think the personal gaming will go with the flow. It will probably still be World of Warcraft will still be involved, like in the past 20 years, um, because it's something, when you go onto it, the nostalgic the nostalgia is also a big thing, because it connects you to your younger self, to the good old times. So that is something very appealing. And when I look at myself in 5 to 10 years in the personal life, I think the biggest quest there is to find more, because at the moment my life is very jumpy in case of traveling and stuff like that. So find something which is a stone in the water, with this, which is a little island, for myself, for my life. Um, Not only in case of country, also in case of family or something like that. And yeah, I think that says a lot, and that is what will happen in the private life in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah.
Awesome. So, if you could receive one piece of loot, what would it be? You can be really creative with this question.
In real life, you mean?
Yes.
I would say the one piece of loot would be a blessing and a bad thing at the same time, but I think to have the complete consciousness, to know what's going on, to be conscious, and not only to see the world through the three visual things we can see the world, but to solve the puzzle, to solve the puzzle of the world, to solve the puzzle of life. So to be conscious, to be connected, to have the power to be connected to everything in the universe, and to every human, to everything, to solve the puzzle. I think that is the most interesting thing. What is behind it? What is behind it? What happens after we die? So that is the big question we ask ourselves. And I think through consciousness, we will solve this puzzle. And yeah, I think that would be the most interesting thing, because it stands above everything. So yeah, if you ask me that question that broad, I would give you the broadest answer.
Why would you think that that is a bad thing to have, like 100% conscience?
You don't know. The thing is, also, you think it is very good when you're intelligent and when you're smart, but it can actually be the opposite as well, because you think a lot, you think about a lot of things in life, and your life gets more difficult through it. Your life is easier when you're dumb and when you're only in the process and do your thing. That's the reality. That's nothing against people which are not questioning something. Everyone lives his life like he wants and like he does. But when you're questioning things, and when you're a little bit more conscious, or a little bit more, I wouldn't say intelligent, probably the same IQ as everyone else, but when you're questioning things, then life gets a little bit more difficult as well, because you think way more, and that doesn't make it easier and doesn't make it more happy. So it's a blessing and a bad thing at the same time. And I don't know what happens with the cost of consciousness. Could be the same, but we don't know.
Yeah, you're right. If you have also with freedom, if you have too much freedom, you can think too much. What will I do? And what I want to do. And then you come in a place where you will maybe do nothing because you don't know, do I that? And yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
True.
So we will go to the next chapter, and the next chapter is the keyboard warrior. So I tried to find few comments for Michael, and we start with the comment from Gib Jonathan 2022, and he posted it under our video, What Makes the Game So Good? And he said, what the fuck was this? Michael, what the fuck was this?
Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3 people got a little bit upset about our old podcast structure. It was a dumb structure, to be honest, looking back on it, because we had the intro of the topic, and then we went straight into another topic. So, for example, I think the video was about something gaming related, and then we were talking
body temperature.
Yeah, yeah. The first topic we were talking about was body temperature, and the people came onto the video to watch PoE. So I can understand it, our bad, but yeah. You can also skip the video, so skip the first part and skip to the next part. I think, especially in this video, I made what is it called? The key lines where you can jump. So, yeah, the keyframes, timestamps, right? But yeah, that's yeah, I get it. It's a fair comment, actually.
Yeah, maybe also say to that, what we are trying with that is not just being gaming focused, also trying to give you different opinions from different topics to bring a brighter mindset to the world, and not only like we are only talking about gaming, because there's more than gaming in life. And yeah, but let's jump to the next one. The next one is from IHW, ITVM, I don't know. Imagine in the future you will be able to upload your memory of the taste, smell, etc. that you have experienced in your travel. The viewer will then be able to download that memory and convert it into the brain signals for full experience, not just visual. That was a comment under your travel videos.
Yeah, I can remember that. That was one of the deepest comments, actually. I think it is not that far away, to be honest, because we as a civilization, we're going into the technology path. We've chosen this specialization as a civilization, and Yeah, that will be definitely possible in the future. I mean, I think there was a thing when I was young already, which you could. There was a device which you could smell what things are smelling in the game when the developer implemented it. So it's not that far away. We are already implementing chips and stuff like that. So yeah, agree absolutely, and it will be possible. It will be very strange and very crazy. So probably even less people like nowadays will travel then because they think I can download it and then I can experience it. But
Yeah, let's see.
is
But
it a
interesting thoughts.
is it an experience then, or is it only a distraction from yourself again? That's the question then.
Yeah. Then we have today a third one as well. Ari Yamani. Sometimes you just need to visit an area to prove that it's true, like media says or no, and be witness for the real situation of one tourist spot. Fighting bro. You already said it in the beginning, and but you can reply to that.
Yeah, I agree. Don't trust anything. Only trust your own eyes and ears, because that is how it really is then, and everything else is only hearsay, only people speaking, only noise. You cannot trust it, never. Especially in the world nowadays with AI, which they can create everything. You can create everything with AI these days. Don't trust anything only if you see it with your own eyes.
Yeah. And also there's a YouTuber, he his name is Arab. He's doing crazy content and he's actually doing that, showing that the crazy places in Earth are not like media is showing us. And yeah, he's crazy. He's at the moment in Afghanistan and he's making crazy content. You have to watch it. And all right, that was our keyboard warrior. And we are going now to the arena of opinions, Michael. So the first opinion is the combination of gaming and meditation do not seem to support each other. One is about detaching yourself from the real world, the other is about being as present as possible.
But the same have the both have the same effect, to be honest. And the same effect is to shut down your usual brain, your usual thoughts. Meditation is nothing different than shutting down thoughts and don't think anything about life in the general. And when you're gaming, you still think things, that's true. So it's not shutting your brain down, not giving your brain a break, but it's giving your brain a break from the usual stuff, from the usual thought patterns, from the usual stress patterns. So gaming helps about stress, like meditation, but meditation brings enlightens you and brings you in a other realm if you do it properly. So it is different, but in some point it has the same effect when it comes to stress.
Then we are going to the second opinion. Van Mick is better in healing others than doing damage or holding aggro.
Holding aggro these times is not that difficult, I think. But rooting through the dungeon, so I think in tanking I'm not that good, that's true. In case of dealing damage and healing, I would say I'm even. I was a damage dealer back in the time when I was healing as well with a warlock. I was doing 3 versus 3 as well, and it went pretty well with the warlock as well. Um, but yeah, it's I think I'm even, and the more I play damage dealer, probably I will get better and better. But um, yeah, it's up to if Blizzard did not destroy the healing, I would probably be still healing, but it's not appealing anymore. So I had to change, and yeah, if you and also World of Warcraft got more and more a solo player game, and if you play solo in World of Warcraft, you cannot play healer. It's not fun to play solo as a healer, to do world quest, to do stuff like that all solo. It's the biggest dog shit ever because you don't do damage and you need damage. It's different as a tank. That's working, but as a healer, it's yeah. So I had to change. When the game changes, I had to change as well.
I have one interesting question which I want to throw in. If you have to make one decision and you can only pick one, what would you pick? Gaming, meditation, or cold exposure?
Or
means
cold exposure.
cold shower or ice dipping.
The thing is, what are the frameworks? Do I need the positive things of meditation and cold shower, or do I don't? Or is health out of the thing? You know, if it's only picking between these for joy or something like that, then I probably would take gaming.
In your current situation, you have to pick one. What would you pick?
If I would have to pick one, I probably still would pick gaming, because it's the it's the most time consuming and the most which I'm interested in, but it could change the older I get, and probably meditation and stuff like that would could overtake it.
You could also think that gaming is the future, and you can also play a video game which is meditation.
Yeah, would also be
So,
possible. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that was Arena of Opinions, and I asked Grok in the Machine Overload about our guest Michael, and of course, he had not so much information about you, but I gave him some information about you, and here is his thoughts about you. Your journey from a young gamer to a global nomad and now a content creator reflects a quest for harmony and personal growth. Your love for World of Warcraft, your entrepreneurial spirit, and your newfound appreciation for Asian culture showcase a life dedicated to exploration and peace. Your habits of meditation and cold exposure suggest a strong focus on mental and physical health, aligning with your quest for balance and self improvement.
Very impressive. Impressive that Grok used the word balance a lot, because that's what my life is actually about balance with everything. I think balance is the healthiest thing we can ever do in life. Interesting that he chooses exactly these words. Yeah, but I think it's 100%. It's interesting that AI only with a few informations can do crazy stuff like that and analyzes it like this. Um, yeah, crazy. Also that he says, what was it? The thing with
About what?
the thing with the mental and physical thing, strength. That is
Ah, your habits of meditation and cold exposure suggest a strong focus on
right.
mental and physical health.
Yeah, that is actually very important in my life as well. I want to be. A lot of people go to the gym and think they want to be strong physically, but I also, if not, take more priority on on the mental health, because if you're strong mentally and if you're the boss in your mind, that's the big keyword. Then you can. I think that's probably the key for life. The key to be successful in life in every part. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Grok, Machine Overload. Pretty correct, pretty a lot of things what Michael actually said. So he knows you perfectly. And we are jumping now into the portal room. And Michael, your question. Imagine you're in a room full of portal, each portal teleporting you to a moment in life, past or future. Which portal would you choose and why?
I knew the question would come, but I didn't prepare myself for it. Dumb. But spontaneous, I would say I want to teleport myself to the point in the future, because I'm curious as fuck. What happens when my soul leaves the body? I'm not suicidal or something like that. I'm only very interested what's behind the simulation, what's behind the curtain. That is that is the one thing I'm probably the most curious about, because I experienced some things through meditation and stuff like that, and spirituality, and that was only a glimpse what it could be. So if it's like this and it goes in this direction, you cannot describe it. It's unbelievable. So yeah, that would be the most interesting thing I will figure out.
Awesome. So, that was actually our podcast with our guest Michael, aka When Mick. Um, I have a final question for you, Michael, and then I leave the last words to you after you answered the question. If you could give one piece of advice to our gamers, what would it be?
I would say spend time with your mind. Spend time with yourself and spend time with your mind. Because then you learn about yourself, then you learn what you really want, what you really are. And I think the world would be a way, way better place if everyone knows what he really wants, who he really is. And the world would probably be way more peaceful as well. So it would improve everything, every life, the whole world. So that would be my advice.
All right, last words to you.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Support the channel if you like the concept. We will invite more guests. Now you know about ourselves. We want you to know about gamers in general. Not only gamers, but a lot of people, a lot of famous people gamed in their life as well, and we want to have them on the podcast. So if you're interested in that, follow the channel, give us a like on this video, and I would say thank you for interviewing. Was a nice interview. I think the people on this seat, on this side of the interview, they feel very good, and maybe the viewers and listeners figure something out about the people here which they don't know, and that is, I think, our goal then. So thank you very much, and thanks for listening, guys. See you in the next video or podcast. Bye bye.